Hey, what's happening, gamers? How's everybody doing? Welcome back to the second episode of Mario Kart Double Dash. This is, of course, episode 9 of our Road to Mario Kart World hype series. And today is going to be about Princess Power, 100 cc's. So, Princess Peach, Daisy, probably Luigi and Daisy, and we'll see what else. But don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Special shout-outs to Carlos for upgrading, becoming a VIP today. Thank you very much, Carlos, for your continued ultimateness. Carlos is one of the oldest members of the channel. Not, like, oldest in terms of age, but one of the longest ultimates. He's got the purple badge, so he's an OG at least 5 years, I believe. Something like that. So he was one of our first ultimates. And Carlos loves retro games, so he has a treat for us later this month. But hopefully you guys are having a good one. I woke up with a powerful headache today. My head is just like, it feels like tiny jackhammers all over the place. I took a Bayer, but I don't even know if it's going to put a dent in it. The temperature change is fluctuating so much that it's irritating. Yesterday was in the 20s, today's in the 40s, and it's like, I don't know, this up and downness with the pressure changes is just like really messing with my head. But hopefully everybody's having a better day than me. So, thank you again, Carlos, and we hope you enjoy more Mario Kart Double Dash today. Because this game is awesome. Of course, we were able to get the 3DS capture card working, so after Double Dash is over, that means the next game in the series will be Mario Kart DS, which will be the first time the Kwings have been able to do a portable DS or 3DS game in almost 3 years, I believe. Something like that. I think it's been 2 years. I don't remember. I got some green tea here. Hopefully it'll help with the pressure, but I don't know. If not, I have some... No, sweet. Yeah, I'm positive. You can make yourself tea. I can always do the first level.
I thought you said it's an all level yesterday.
That was the first episode. Very first episode. All you need to understand is you're adorable. How's that? Okay, start game. Starts up. Wifey wants to start over with a non-ADD person, is what she said. Alright, so we're gonna do Princess Peach. Show you guys how one player operates. So Daisy's gonna be the driver, Peach is gonna be the thrower. You don't have that many carts right now. Gonna ask God to get rid of my ADD, good luck. Never happened. Alright, so we got 100 cc's. Here we go. There's nothing wrong with me. You can never communicate with me? Sure, there's lots of ways to communicate with the ADD tribe. Hugs, snuggles, forehead kisses. You tell me that you appreciate me and that kind of stuff. Alright, anyway, people, let's do this. This is Luigi Circuit. You may notice that there's some differences to the schedule today. There is no Xenoblade today. Xenoblade did not get 1,000 views before 7 in the morning. So the stream that was set up, everybody was asking us, are you doing Marvel Rivals? Are you doing Marvel Rivals? So Marvel Rivals will be the 6 o'clock/7 o'clock stream tonight. Xenoblade will be back tomorrow. And Mario Kart will be back tomorrow. So how do I know Xenoblade will be back tomorrow? It'll be back tomorrow. I got 1,000 views. It just didn't get 1,000. The requirement is for streams to be set up that day. It has to be 1,000 views by 7 o'clock. Because that's when I go to bed. You're amazing. The other business expenses are easy because the website says Google, PlayStation, Xbox. Yes, she does. I've told her that for years. Oh, Jesus, right, but I mean, if you look at the business expenses from that one site, it says Google Nintendo. I literally sent her a list of things that were payment to. Yes, I'm gonna have more fried rice, honey. I'm gonna have some today. First meal of the day is always cereal. I'm waiting for the dishes to finish. See, you can change drivers at any time by pressing the Z button, so if both players are synced up, they can press the Z button. Oh no! We lost the first race. Oops. And there's no rewind feature because this is 2003. Why does it look like they're doing the wax on, wax off with their hands? Wario and Waluigi beat us. What I'm confused about is, I don't know how the pre-orders work. It sounds like now all pre-orders have to go through Nintendo Switch. So what does that mean? We have to pay for it, like, through the Nintendo eShop? If you go to the Nintendo eShop now, there's a reserve feature built into the Nintendo eShop. I was like, how's that gonna work? And do they expect you to pay it in full like Best Buy does? Or do they want interim payments like GameStop and Walmart? I'm still looking it up. I have no idea. My mug with my tea. It's a my tea. Tablecloth? Oh, those are, yeah, those are fine. Oh no. Ah! Why would there be? No, that's not outside our house. It's the neighbor next door. I don't know. They're always thumping something. Final lap. Hey, sweetie. Oh my gosh. These guys are mean. Notice Daisy's cruiser off to the side, guys and gals. You see her cruise liner? It was all the way to the left side of the screen. That's Daisy's ship. That's actually a level in this game as well. Thank you, Amber.
So I hope to give all the accounts of those business expenses from Amazon today. By tonight. So I don't know when I'll get
Probably won't be till early in the morning because I got multiple streams today. I think. Do I have?
You have an ultimate today. I believe it's alphas.
It is alphas today. Yeah, I gotta get my headache taken care of. Then.
Well, I have $20 in cash.
How is that gonna hurt my head?
If you need to get caffeine.
Don't I have brisk iced tea still?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm fine.
You know, you have a... I don't.
I have a what?
You just have a much lower expectations of what you would need. Like, if I was doing an important stream, I would want to go out and get myself a coffee or something.
I'm drinking green tea right now to help with the pressure in my head. It's like a beggar.
No, I mean, it's in a good way. I mean, actually feeling good with money and not going out all the time. Hello, everyone. So I think I should do my most anticipated games this week. I do think that, like, I do think it's weird that all these people are saying, I was playing this when I was in the kitchen making my tea, but like, I find it strange that all these YouTubers are making these videos like, so I won't be getting a Switch 2. And it's like, I guarantee you were an Xbox or PlayStation person for years. The Switch was extremely low budget, and you thought I'm going to get this as a companion system. And then when they raised their prices and dared to be as cool as Sony or Xbox and tried to raise their quality and say, hey, you're going to need to take it seriously, then you were like, well, I don't like Nintendo that much. They were probably a one-time system person. There's no real Nintendo fan that wouldn't get a Switch 2. I mean, eventually. I'm not saying you have to get it right now, but I'm saying eventually you'll probably get it.
We kept the Switch 2 okay.
No, but I'm saying, like, it's ridiculous for these YouTubers to be like, I'm not gonna get a Switch 2. It's like, just like you didn't get a Wii U. I guarantee you didn't get a Wii U or a Wii U.
The thing is, like, a lot of this is rage bait, too. A lot of these YouTubers are doing this kind of stuff because they're getting a lot of...
They want to get all this money. It's hilarious because they're going to get all this money from their video about how they're not going to get a Switch 2 and their videos about how they can't afford it. They'll probably get well, I don't know if they'll get the same amount of money back on their video because YouTube's ad revenue is pretty good right now.
Let me put it to you this way. That video that got 18,000 views in one day, remember I told you the fastest a video gets views, the more it makes?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, here's the difference. The Nintendo Switch video that I did that surprisingly got close to 20,000 views made $70 in one day, and then it stopped. The video that got 3,000 views over the course of 2 days made $7.
Oh, wow. So it has to do with how fast you get the views. So rage bait is the key because then everyone clicks on it all at once and then you get tons of money.
Right, because you get lots of engagement. So what they, and it's always been like that. The faster, like someone easily could make like $1,000 on like a 400,000 viewed video if like that video gets like 400,000 views in the first 24 hours. If it takes an entire week for that video to get like 1,000 views for 400,000 views, they would make like maybe, I don't know, $200 or something like that. It all depends on how quickly it generates viewership.
Well, that's why I just don't even, I mean, I'm not trying to be mean, but I don't mind, like watching YouTube videos or supporting people, but when I see rage bait on there, I just don't click on the video at all. Because I'm just like, I'm not, because this person is wasting my time with this really angry thumbnail and very angry like title, I don't care about their opinion at this point. Like I could care less.
Well, they're riding a wave. I mean, that's.
So I'm not even gonna give them a click. Like
right. That's
how I feel.
That's what it is, though. Like you're, even. I mean, I clearly admit it. Like the thumbnail that I made for both episodes was to generate clicks, but the video itself is not like what people are expecting based on the thumbnail.
But your video wasn't as rage baiting as the ones I see. You were like,
not
are they too high? Let's talk about this kind of like thing. Whereas these people are like, I'm not getting a Switch 2. And then like here, like I saw somebody today that was like, like Switch 2, like worst decision ever to buy, and like all this stuff that's just me. They're just hating on Nintendo again, just like with the Wii U and everything else.
No. The Wii U, the reason why, this is why I don't like the I mean, I probably didn't get any like feedback for it, but there was somebody saying reasons why the Switch 2 is a better launch than the Wii U, saying that the Wii U, they basically said that the Wii U got no games at the beginning, and I was like, that's not true. Right, I said, hey, just so you know, I said Wii U had 32 launch titles. Nintendo Switch 2 is going to have 21.
What planet were they on? Got no games.
I don't know.
The whole reason why there were so many games on the Switch was because no one got the Wii U, and they had to port them all over to the Switch because nobody bought the Wii U.
Yeah, but that's
how many launch titles there
were. There was 32 launch titles for the Wii U, and what made the Wii U interesting and different than the Switch 2, the Switch 2 primarily, most of the launch titles that are coming out for the Switch 2 are games that have already released prior for years on other consoles. So, like, everybody called the Wii U a port system for, like, you know, PlayStation and Xbox. But if you go back and you look at their games, they didn't have them anymore.
They had Wonderful 101, which was amazing. They had Breath of the Wild. They had so many great games. I don't know where these people were. Were they born on another planet? What are they doing? They have their head in the ground? What planet are these people on? I don't know where they are going. I don't know where they are.
I made a lot of mistakes.
Crazy. That's where they are.
I made a lot of mistakes.
Crazy. Mistakes on me. Alright, look, I'm ready to get on here. You know, I remember when hearing about the Switch, and I remember being sad and like crying that we wouldn't get the Wii U anymore because I miss it so much. They were like, we're not having the Miiverse anymore. Great. It's like, oh, instead of having a cool, you know, thing where you like waggle, which was like, I was having fun with that. I was like, yes, motion is the future. You're like, instead of having a sensor bar and a fun waggle games, you're gonna have these dorky Joy-Cons that are built for a child who's 3 years old. It's like, no, why?
Well, that's it. I lost. We're gonna have to do this all over again.
And instead of having a cool Wii U pad that you can have a second screen in your hand and the first player can have the TV, the second player can have the screen, and you can actually, you know, use the Wii U pad as a universal remote for your television. Nope, we're not having that anymore. We're having this very small system that has no fan and constantly overheats. And actually, I'm sorry, Luke. I didn't mean to bother you. I'm ready to go.
Yeah, we have to do it again.
Do you want me to try it?
We have to do it again.
That's why I'll never say I'll never get it. I just won't get it. Launch day says Granddaddy Otaku. They will get the Switch 2. They will just get it later and say they never said they would never get a Switch 2, says Granddaddy Otaku. That's so true, Granddaddy Otaku. I'm sorry. I don't know what
This is 100 cc's. This is what can happen. You make one mistake in a race and you're done. That's all it takes.
Yes, exactly, Miss Deanna. These people making these videos are planning on getting it eventually. Exactly. Yes, I saw that title today. Don't get the Switch 2. It's like, you know, it's like, please. You know what? I'm just gonna make rage titles. PS5 sucks. It's the worst system ever. The graphics are worse than the Wii.
Get your cart.
Looks like it's the method Nintendo Store eShop used here. Have to have at least 2 straight years of Nintendo Switch Online membership when your playtime has to be over a certain threshold. Oh, wow. Interesting. Okay. Hi, Jacob Langlet. Thank you for the super chat. If Mario Kart World releases, the DLC will be in that game after it? Will be in the game? If Mario Kart? You mean when Mario Kart releases?
They haven't announced any DLC, but you have to remember there's a Nintendo Direct on the 17th. There's a Mario Kart Direct on the 17th.
Alright, yeah, I'm sure. I mean, they'll probably have DLC, Jacob.
We don't know that, honey. It's an
I don't know.
It's an open world Mario Kart. There's no
we don't know if they'll have DLC or not. I mean, I'm just guessing. I'm taking a wild stab at it. I don't know. I have no idea if they'll have DLC or not.
Alright, guys, remember to watch the shorts. Honey, pick your characters.
Alright, Luki,
we're playing against each other.
Oh, against each other? What am I gonna do here?
Pick whoever you want.
You're playing as Peach and Daisy?
You want to play as one of the princesses?
No! 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 I don't! Now we've altered the timeline!
Didn't alter the timeline.
This is not the true timeline. Your true choice with your heart was Peach and Daisy.
No, it's fine.
No, we
Peach
ruined
and Daisy
it.
lost.
I never said I wanted to play as the
honey,
princess.
time is money.
Then
Pick
I don't
someone.
understand that I'm not even playing as Peach.
It doesn't matter. Just pick somebody.
Fine.
Okay, there you go. Now you can change your cart however you want.
I don't know. I guess I'll be on. Well, no, this looks dorky. Okay, we'll go with it.
Okay. Here we go.
Thank you, Jacob. You're amazing. Oh gosh. I've actually never steered this.
Okay, so you switch characters by pressing V, and you throw items by pressing X. And then you just steer how you normally steer.
Oh wow, people driving. Oh, woman driver. No, I'm just. I can't make that joke. Apparently, there was. We made that joke like years ago. We can't make that joke anymore. I'm not serious. I think I'm.
It's just a joke. People back then actually found stuff funny. People got very uptight after like 2018. That's when a lot of stuff happened. A lot of stressful stuff happened in 2018. When society was changing. But yeah, I have no idea how the whole pre-order thing is going to work. I'm kind of concerned because when you buy a game off the Nintendo Switch eShop, you have to pay for the full thing. It's like, not many people are going to be able to pay like $400 up front. I was
Also,
even planning on doing credit through that one online site.
Where are they shipping it from? Who's shipping it? Nintendo is going to ship it directly to your door?
Nintendo has your address, yeah.
And so you buy it from the Switch eShop and they... But you can't even buy games that ship off the Nintendo eShop. It's all digital.
Yeah.
So I don't really understand how anything is gonna work. I'm sure they'll figure it out.
I don't know. But yeah, anyway, I was getting back to the thing. So
Now I can see this is harder than I thought to dodge that.
it's very hard to dodge stuff. So more or less, when I was talking to that person, because they were totally uninformed, like because a lot of people are making comparisons that, you know, Wii was successful, it sold 100 million. Wii U only sold like 20. They said, well, our thing is like the Switch 2 will probably sell blah blah blah. Or the Nintendo Switch sold 155 million. The Nintendo Switch 2 will only sell like 25. It's another Wii U. And it's like,
it won't.
It's not. The reason why the Wii U failed is not because of the hardware and it's not because of the games. It failed because of the name. Nintendo is in a great opportunity with the Switch 2 because of the name difference, as well as it's very distinct on the box, the difference between Switch 1 and Switch 2 games. The only confusion that might set in is for Nintendo Enhanced games, which is the same Switch 1 games again with 4K. But even those boxes have differences to them, like right on the box for a Switch 2, Switch 1 port, in big purple letters it says Enhanced Version.
Yeah.
So there's no way that you could go to the store and be like, huh, this is Breath of the Wild for Wii or Switch. This is Breath of the Wild for Switch 2. Or, you know, it shows clear differences.
Yeah.
On the box art.
Yeah, I also think part of the reason why Wii U failed was because of people being ignorant.
Wii U failed because of the name.
I know, but they were ignorant. They couldn't go look it up on them or their own.
Yeah, but it wasn't. It wasn't.
dumb.
Gamers were the ones who bought the system.
Oh.
Parents and grandparents didn't know what it was, and that really impacted sales.
Oh, so you're saying gamers don't know?
Gamers knew what it was. Gamers weren't that stupid. It was people who were buying the system for kids and teenagers and grandparents and things like that. Those were the people that Nintendo wasn't able to reach well, because they did not want any more, because you have to remember, there were tons of peripherals that released for the Wii. all kinds of weird stuff. So when people saw that giant screen that were consumers, they thought, hey, this is like some type of like universal remote control and thing where I can play my Wii games on this, so I don't disrupt somebody watching a football or baseball game. But
I don't know where they got that.
Because Nintendo had commercials of showing people, like, their dad comes in and is like, I want to watch the game, and the kid's like, okay, Dad. And then he takes the system and the screen goes onto it. That was one of the main appeals of the system, is you could play the entire game on the screen.
Yeah, I thought that was really cool. I still prefer the Wii to the Switch.
I like my Switch, but I like the Wii U. I thought the Wii U was a great system. But yeah, it's easy to correct people because, I mean, the problem with Switch, the problem that Switch 2 is running into, its biggest controversy is the price of its games. Most people have accepted the fact because it's all new technology, and there are some YouTubers lying about stuff. Some people said, oh, the Switch 2 is just a, PS4. No, it's not. Because both the brand new Elden Ring that is coming out, there's a new Elden Ring thing that's coming out like this summer for PlayStation and Xbox. Mm-hmm. That same Elden Ring is coming to the Switch 2 this year. And the only comparable difference to this Elden Ring game and the Elden Ring that's on PS5 is the hair follicles look better on the PS5. They did a shot-by-shot comparison and a frame rate comparison, and the Switch 2 version looked just as good as the PS5 version of Elden Ring. That does not mean it's a PS4. Also, the lighting and the draw distances and all these other particle effects in the Switch 2 look better than the recent re-release of Final Fantasy VII on PS5. So, and not Final Fantasy Rebirth, Final Fantasy Remake. So Digital Foundry, who obviously, is trying to hate farm people, is saying that the Switch 2, in terms of graphical abilities and power, is a PS4. That's not true. Yeah. It's comparable to a PS5. It's not a PS5, but it's not a PS4.
Right.
It's right around a PS4 Pro and first generation PS5. So the first year of PS5 games. But they're trying
really have something against Nintendo.
They're trying to farm hate though by saying that the system is, $400+ and it's essentially just a PS4. It's not true.
I think people just don't like Nintendo because it feels like they just don't like things that are wholesome. It offends them. That's what I really think people's problem with Nintendo is. It's like, it makes them feel like bad people because they can't stand that a wholesome company is doing really well.
Well, what you're paying for with the Switch 2 is you're paying for the 4K, you're paying for the built-in voice chat, you're paying for the 120 frames per second, the HDR, you're paying for the game shareability and all this other stuff. And as you keep, racking on those prices, the system gets more and more expensive because it's all the new additions. If they removed
the chat features,
if they removed HDR from the Switch 2, the Switch 2 would be $350.
Yeah.
Or at the very least, it would be $400.
But
it would be $399.
I think that they didn't want to do that because they wanted to try to make it as upscale as possible.
Well, they wanted to make a Super Switch. So basically what they're doing, it's like I said before, what Nintendo's doing is essentially what they did with the GameCube. They have cutting-edge technology built into a small package, but it wasn't consumer-friendly. The GameCube was not consumer-friendly. It was just a little less expensive than a PS2. Not that much. It was like $40 cheaper than a PS2, or $30 cheaper. And the reason why the PS2 was so expensive back in the day is because it had a built-in DVD player. If Sony had not had the DVD player in there, then they couldn't have marketed it as, oh, this is an entertainment system. You can watch movies, you can do this, you can do that.
Yeah.
That's what the whole appeal of the system was, is they were marketing it as this is a system that the whole family can use for not just playing games, but watching movies, playing on the internet and stuff. That was their whole spiel. It was an everything system. And what Nintendo is doing, they're like, hey, people complain that the game doesn't look very good when it's portable, So we're going to add HDR to it, and when you're playing it, you won't be able to see a difference between 120 frames per second and 4K on your television than when you're playing it 1080p on, you know, in the palm of your hand, because the HDR is going to enhance your experience so you'll feel like you're playing in 4K when you're not. So because of that nuanced technology built into the system itself for when it's portable, that's why it's $449.
Yeah, I mean, but that's what people wanted.
Yep.
So, I don't know what to say. Like, that's what everyone asked for.
But there's no way that you could make the Switch 2 affordable if it had all those features to make it look so amazing when it's in the palm of your hand. It would look like what Switch games looked like when they were in the palm of your hand. They looked okay. You know, it was like 720p at like 30 or 20 frames per second or whatever. It wasn't the same as... And not even most Switch games also didn't run at 60 frames per second, even when they were docked. Very few. There are some games that would run at 60 frames per second, but majority of the games that you're going to play on the Switch 2, their native resolution when it's in handheld mode is between 40 to 60 frames per second. When it is docked, it is 120 frames per second.
Exactly, Luke. Gameplay over graphics, says Shadow Trooper. Granddaddy Otaku says, maybe I'm a fake gamer, but I don't know that much about the 4K, but I really don't care about that. About the chat feature.
Yeah, I don't care about the chat feature.
And I don't think I'm ever going to use the camera. Whoops.
Well, you have to buy the camera.
Oh, well then, I guess I think a lot of people probably won't buy it.
The camera's $50. But here's the thing, gang. If you want to take over you want to save money, let's say you get the Switch 2, right? And you want to save money, and you're like, I don't really want to get the Pro Controller Switch 2 because it only has like 2 new buttons that don't even work with most of my Switch games. Then you just reconfigure your Switch Pro controllers and have that on the Switch 2. And then when you can afford it later on, then buy the Switch Pro controller 2. Because all your controllers, your Switch controllers, your Joy-Con, well, not the Joy-Con, your Switch controllers, all that stuff, it's all compatible with the Switch 2.
Oh, what?
Yeah, you know.
What's compatible? What?
The Switch Pro controllers.
Oh my gosh.
Yep.
So are they going to sell more of those?
What do you mean?
Or are they going to continue making a Switch Pro?
Why wouldn't they keep making Switch Pro controllers? They're not, people have this idea that because Nintendo's releasing the Switch 2, that means they're going to stop selling the Switch. It doesn't work that way. It's later in a system's new life cycle that they stop selling the previous generation. So the Switch will probably keep being sold in retail until 2027. Most likely. Right around its 10-year anniversary, which would be 2027. You know, 2017, 2027. Then that's it, usually. You know? After 10 years, you usually can't buy the same console now.
Yeah.
So the Switch 2 is coming out in 2025, so that means for 2 years after the Switch 2, most likely you'll still be able to buy the Switch 1 new, but you really don't need to. Just like people technically didn't need to keep buying the PS2 because some PS3s originally were backwards compatible, so you didn't need to have PS2 stuff. But the reason why Sony dropped the price of the PS3 when it released is because they dropped the models that were backwards compatible with the PS2. They got rid of the technology so they could lower the price $100.
No. I just don't get, like, these people that, like, make these videos and they do rage bait, and their comment section are all agreeing with them all the time, when literally you do a normal take on a reasonable take on a video and people get all up in arms and crazy about it, whereas people do very hot takes that don't make any sense at all. And they're like, you know, like, I saw somebody today being like, you know, if they say it's backwards compatible, but is it really? And I guarantee you they had all, like, comments agreeing with them. And it's like,
there's
so strange that people do all these weird takes on this.
At launch, there's 150 Switch 1 games that are not backwards compatible with the system. But Nintendo of Japan has stated that they're working on fixing this. That doesn't mean every 150 game that isn't compatible with the Switch 2 will be compatible later on. That means a majority of that list probably will. Or, if they can't do that, they'll have enhanced versions. Like, there's problems with the Sonic Cross Shadows or whatever. That's why they have an enhanced version. There's problems with Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. That's why they had the enhanced. Same thing with Kirby. Apparently, Kirby and the Forgotten Land has problems of the original Switch playing on Switch 2. So that's why they have these. So out of those 150, probably 40 games will have enhanced versions by the end of the year. And by the middle of 2026, there should be a patch that will fix, like, a good chunk of those 150 games that don't work.
Yeah. Oh, thank you for explaining that. I mean, if they've already explained that, though, I don't know why these YouTubers are, like, making these videos about it.
Because, like I told you, it has to do with money. We made $75 or $70 in the first day of our 18,000 viewed video. If they're getting anywhere between 20 to 30,000 views a day, they're making about $100 a video. Or more.
I wish I had the key to, like, just making rage bait
as people, like, right now, instead of people talking about, you know, like I told you, that stuff is dying out. There's very few games now that are going to be coming out that, you know, basically are activist driven. Activist was a very hot button issue that made people a lot of money.
Oh, now they have to rage something else.
Now, right now, they're those people, and I've even seen it, those same people that were always talking about woke this, woke that, they're attacking the Switch 2 in every video they do.
Yeah, they have to attack something.
And they're making hundreds of dollars. They're putting poor Reggie Fils-Aimé on the cover of their video when he hasn't been Nintendo president in a long time.
Yeah, they're so ignorant about everything.
And Reggie was a really good guy because, like, if it wasn't for Reggie, like, we wouldn't have had pack-in games with the Switch or with the Wii and the Wii U. That was all Reggie's idea because Nintendo of America, even back when Yamaguchi was president with Super Nintendo and stuff like that, he hated having games packed in with the system because he wanted those sold separately so they could make more money.
Honestly, these rage channels, they just seem like bullies to me.
Did you know in America there were lots of different bundles that the American president before Reggie and, like, I forget who the other American president was, but the guy in the Super Nintendo era and the NES in America, they realized if they packed in games with the system, that was something people could play right away, right?
Yeah.
So they had, like, Super Mario Brothers with the NES. They later had a bundle with Super Mario Brothers 3. Super Nintendo had a bundle with The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past. They had Super Mario World. They had Super Mario All-Stars. N64, I don't remember N64 having a pack-in game. It might have been Super Mario 64, but I don't remember.
You know why I think they attacked the Switch? It has to do with the fan base. Nintendo fans are the nicest fans in the world. So I think, like, no offense, but a lot of PlayStation and Xbox fans are kind of toxic. So if they rage baited and attacked them, they'd probably have way too much hate on their video. So they're attacking the nicest fan base on the internet. They're attacking Nintendo fans. Because they know Nintendo fans are gonna, like, write, you know, I'm gonna kill you in the comments and stuff.
Yeah, Nintendo fans don't act that way. But the thing is, getting back to the whole Reggie thing. So with Reggie, basically, like, what goes on with that is when the Wii was coming out, Reggie was like, hey, this Wii Sports game that we have here, we should, you know, pack it in with the system. It should be in the Wii. Miyamoto and Iwata hated that idea because they made Wii Sports as not a demo reel of what the system could do. They were trying to make a new IP that they wanted people to pay $40 or $50 for. And Reggie played the thing, and it didn't look like it was a $40 or $50 game. So his idea was, if we pack this in the system worldwide, he says people who are not gamers have something that they can see what the system can do, and it's fun right out the box. That was Reggie's idea.
And it also helped you learn how to put your Mii characters in a game. Right?
Right. But Nintendo, like I said, even Iwata, who was really nice, and Miyamoto, they all wanted Wii Sports as a $49 game.
So that was because of Reggie that everyone knows about Wii Sports.
That is why Wii Sports Plus, or Wii Sports Resort, was the next game that Nintendo made. They increased the graphics a little bit of the next Wii Sports game, but they made it as a separate release with Wii Motion Plus.
Oh, yeah.
Because originally they wanted Wii Sports, and Wii Sports never would have sold as a sold separately game because the graphics were terrible.
That's probably why we have so many views on our Wii Sports videos, because so many people had that game, I think.
But like, if you go back to the Wii U didn't really have a pack-in game like at release until later, and it was only in America. Reggie paired it with New Super Mario Brothers U or something like that.
I think Reggie knows the American audiences are different than Japanese audiences.
Well, of course.
Japanese audiences, they're willing to, do whatever to get their game, but American audiences is super lazy. American audiences are gonna the mom is gonna bring home the system. Merry Christmas. It's like, Mom, there's no games on here. Oh,
right.
I thought there would have been a game. Well, I guess you guys have to wait till I save up enough for a game. Have fun staring at it.
But you
Thanks a lot, Mom.
You do realize that the American game industry
has.
Yeah, you're playing. You're busy. The American game industry has a lot of thankfulness that they owe to Reggie, because Reggie is the person who kept game prices low for almost 20 years. Because with Nintendo, people had a consistent price, even when the Wii came out. There were hardly any Nintendo GameCube games that were $50, or $60. They were all $49.99. Maybe some of them were $54.97, but for the most part, they were all under $60, right?
Yeah.
And that went from GameCube, that went from Wii, and that went from Wii U. The prices of games after Reggie left, if you go back and you look at Switch games in America, the prices started to go up as soon as 2018. Instead of paying $49.99, now you were paying for some Switch games in 2018 $59.99.
Yeah, I did notice that it went up.
Right, because in Japan, they don't have a guaranteed market price for their games. They have what's known as a variable pricing system, and they've always had it since the Famicom. So in America, when people are like, oh wow, Nintendo games are always so affordable, that has to do with your, officers that were in power at Nintendo of America. And the, what do you call it? What's the name of that company? The company that keeps prices low and stuff like that.
That was my own show.
There's a product team inside of a company that handles prices for
pricing.
I don't remember. It's a technical term. But that's why for 20 years game prices for Nintendo were so affordable, because they had a pricing scheme for Nintendo DS, 3DS, Wii U, Switch, all that stuff. But as soon as Reggie stepped down, that's when the Switch's prices started to go up. Because Reggie was the one that believed...
He was the one keeping it down.
He believed it was important that Nintendo, be that affordable option. And Bowser, when he came in, that's when they started to make, Switch games $59.
I feel like if Japan and America were two students in a classroom, and the teacher was like, yeah, in 2 weeks there's going to be a test. And the day before the test, the person from Japan would be like, yeah, are you ready for the test? And the person from America would be like, what? No one reminded me about this. It's I feel like American audiences are a little bit more lazy. They, unless somebody beats them over the head with the idea, just so you know, you have to buy a game with the system. It doesn't come with it. Just so you're a reminder.
But that's what happened. So when people are like, oh, it's because the economy was so good and stuff back in the day, it's no, it's not. It has nothing to do with that.
It was all Reggie.
It was all Reggie and Reggie's team. And
now they're being disrespectful to Reggie, putting him on the thumbnail, saying
now,
it's his fault.
It's if you want to make fun of a Nintendo executive when you're making your hate videos, don't put Reggie on there.
Yeah, put the new president.
Yeah, put Doug Bowser, and in fact, if you
I put Doug Bowser.
I put Bowser. I didn't even make fun of the. I put Bowser in a tie on my video because you could even use Bowser as the picture, the character, because when he was first revealed as Nintendo's president, in a Nintendo Direct, they had CGI Bowser standing there with the Japanese guys, and they're like, "We're proud to announce that Bowser is the new president." And then Doug walked up and he's like, "What are you doing here?" And Bowser's like, "Raw!" And he's like, "No, you're not the president." He says, "I'm the president of Nintendo."
That is weird that his name is Bowser. Like, what are the odds?
I know.
I didn't even know that was a last name. Did he change his name to that legally so he could work at Nintendo?
I don't know.
Like, I didn't know that was an actual name.
I will never forget that Nintendo Direct because it was so funny. But here I was thinking, because this was a guy that worked under Reggie for 5 or 6 years. So I thought, oh wow, you know, Reggie's legacy is going to continue. You know, prices are going to stay low, innovation's going to be key. We're going to keep hearing Reggie's like catchphrases, like, you know, creating experiences, gaming experiences, you know, fun out the box.
Reggie was like a
stuff.
rock star.
Yeah, he was basically like the Rock of the game industry. Yeah, he was like, he had, not only did he have like that aura of like,
when he went on stage, people were like cheering. And
oh
stuff.
yeah.
It was crazy. He was like a star.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Doug Bowser is running it the way I would, with no backbone whatsoever.
No, you don't understand. Like, the only reason Reggie was able to keep prices low is because he knew Iwata and Miyamoto, because, like, Iwata and Reggie and Miyamoto all became, like, CEO officers around the same time. So, like, Iwata became Nintendo's president first, and then a year and a half later, Reggie, I think it was like 2003, 2004, was then made the president of Nintendo in America.
Yeah,
He was the marketing guy.
They didn't really have anything on him. It wasn't like they were there for all time, and he was the new guy.
And Iwata and Reggie were really good friends. Reggie also speaks like very good Japanese.
Oh, there you go. So he could easily communicate with them and be like, guys, listen.
Right. So when they were trying to do like the pricing scheme and stuff like that, Reggie was like, hold up. He says, this isn't going to work in our market because blah, 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 blah. And, you know, Nintendo would listen to him because, like, Reggie and Iwata were peers. They weren't like, you know, Iwata technically was Reggie's boss, but Iwata had such a respect for Reggie that, you know, he listened, okay, he says this is what it's going to be in this market. But if you were to go to Japan back when GameCube or the Wii came out or whatever, and you were at a Japanese game store, you would see that the prices for Wii games would be sliding all over the place. You'd be like, wait a second, why aren't all these games 40, 50 bucks? It's because they've never had a consistent pricing scheme for Nintendo in Japan. Ever. Use it. And so people making all these clickbait videos and stuff like that, saying, oh, the prices are going up because of this and that. It's like, Nintendo could keep prices low if they wanted to. What they're doing is, Doug Bowser has no power unless Japan gives him power.
Yeah.
You can throw it.
I think it's going to be sorry.
It's okay, we have somebody ahead of us.
I know, but if I did it at the wrong time, it would have hit the wall.
It's okay. That's the end of our race.
I just think this was a badly designed thing for me to just start thinking.
Mushroom.
Sorry, I lost.
It's not on you. That's on the game. Hey guys, we need you to watch the shorts. The channel's at around 1,200 an hour right now, and slipping rapidly. So we need you guys to watch the shorts to kind of pick things back up. All you guys have to do is just click the link that you see in the chat window, and it's super important to watch the shorts. Okay.
Thanks for the help, everyone.
If the channel hourly views don't go up, we have two things that will happen. Either the stream will be put on break while Amber and I go and advertise shorts all over the internet to try to like get that, you know, those views up to like 14 or 1,300, because there has to be a stabilization. Or if the channel drops below 1,000 views, the stream has to end immediately, and Marvel Rivals has to start with the music to keep things stable. So you guys have an option of keeping the channel stable by clicking that short link, or the video going on break for 10-15 minutes, or the video stopping abruptly. So we will let you know if things get dire, but right now we're kind of like, we're in that in-between stage where the views are dropping and there's an opportunity to bring them back up, because streaming is not going to do anything. Streaming actually hurts channels, The only reason people stream is because the revenue is higher for live streaming than uploads. It's the difference between, like, if you do 4 streams and you're earning a certain amount of money, you're making good money if you do 4 or 5 streams that get 1,000 views.
What you're saying is people who stream are desperate.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh.
Streaming ever since 2024 became a double-edged sword.
So you have to hold the sharp blade of the sword
Yeah.
while stabbing your enemy.
You're getting cut all the time when you live stream.
Ow.
Yeah.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Ow! It hurts! The pain!
And that shows that YouTube is out of touch with their creators, because they actually they cause pain instead of
Pain and suffering!
Yep. Yep. And they think they've improved things.
I don't think they think they've improved.
Yeah,
I think they know they're screwing everything.
everybody's asking us to like do a pre-order video about how to pre-order the Switch 2, but I still don't
even know how to do it.
I see stuff on Nintendo's website, they're saying our pre-orders will begin May, but then I get a notification from GameStop saying they're ready to announce their release date soon. And it's like, okay. But it's
Going
like,
with GameStop, that's what I trust.
you always want to do the retailers, because we ordered something from Nintendo. They were supposed to send us an N64 peripheral controller 3 years ago that we bought, and we never got. And had that been a retail item, we would have gotten it right away.
Yeah, I don't trust Nintendo because they could randomly say it's sorry.
They could say, oh, well, we let someone else pre-order it who has more hundreds of hours on their system
yeah,
than
exactly.
you.
The fact that they're going by how many hours people have shows that they're gonna cancel some people. Randomly.
Also, what if there's a problem logging in your Nintendo account on that website? It might be like, oh,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but we don't see any hours played because we had to reset your account. It's like, but what? You know, there's a lot of problems that can result from that.
So many problems.
We gotta do it all over again. Sorry.
I don't trust. I mean, I kind of trust GameStop, even though they're overpriced. I trust them.
They're not overpriced. If they do the market price.
Oh. How come everyone says they rip people off? Oh, that's for selling your stuff to them.
Go to Luigi. Or, yeah. I like Daisy and Luigi.
Luigi is the short king. Look at how short he is in this.
He's not the short king. Luigi's the
He's
tallest.
usually- but look at how tall. He was short compared to her in that picture.
Yeah, we know our race is over, OH. That's why we restarted. Come on, gang. Need you to watch the shorts. I can't concentrate. You're at 1278. You're starting to rise, but we need to get into the 1400 range.
Concentrate.
Okay. I'm trying. Constantly watching. Done. Too many of our peers have stopped YouTube. They can't figure out the secret is staying around. The secret is to keep organic views consistently pumping into the channel all the time. And shorts are organic views.
If you want, you can shell me and send it back.
Oh, well.
Show me. Show me.
Well, I didn't simply back.
Yeah, I mean, everybody wants me to talk about, like, even somebody was saying on that one video, they were like, you realize game share is not for every game either. I'm like, what? Where did you read that? It's like, okay, well, that's concerning.
It's not for every game.
Yeah, just like I have to,
What?
the next time I do a Nintendo video, I have to be, by the way, I said originally in 2 videos that I assumed Nintendo was giving you all the DLC for paying $10 more than the other Breath of the Wild game, but that's not the case.
We assume that.
We assume that. Nintendo announced that the DLC is separately for Breath of the Wild, and they haven't announced the price for the enhanced version yet. So that could be even more than it was on the Switch. We don't know. See, this is all very concerning. This is why a price scale is important, because if it's a variable price, literally now, I told you this was going to happen. Sony is now charging for super old games. The Last of Us Collection is $100. See, this is why.
Oh, looks like the prophecy has come true.
Oh, well.
I said before, I said that if Nintendo tries to get away with $80, $90 a game, the other companies are going to start to scale their pricing higher.
As goes Nintendo, as goes the rest of the world.
Exactly. So if Nintendo's games are like $50, the competition will be $10 more. If Nintendo's games are $70, the competition will be $10 more. If Nintendo is selling games for $90, it's going to be $10 more. The industry always follows what Nintendo does. And they always try to up it. That's why PS5 games were $60 and $79, or $69.99. Then Nintendo was like, oh, we're going to do $10 more. Now they're $80.
And then, yeah, then Sony's like, oh, then I will do $10 more.
They're using inflation as an excuse, and people. This is why, like, you know, these people are so uninformed. Most of the gamers that do videos, they say, oh, it's because of inflation. It's like, no, it's because Japan doesn't have a price scale. Nintendo's never had a price scale. If you were living in Japan when the Famicom, the Super Famicom, the N64, the GameCube came out, you will pay more for your games than in America.
But it's weird that they would use the term inflation, since inflation usually has to do with the actual cost of things, like milk, butter, like the actual cost of living. Whereas games can be priced anything you want.
Yep, because
It wouldn't actually be based on inflation because you could price a game anything you want.
Yeah, that's a blue check. People forgot that America's gone through like several recessions in the past 20 years, and the game prices were consistent when Reggie was president. They were always $49.99, and new game systems were around like $210, $240. Like whenever they had a new console or a new portable. Nintendo DS and Nintendo 3DS games were never $50. They were always like $39, $49. Or wait, no, they were $39.99, $29.99, and $25. Sometimes $19. That price was, you know, consistent. But and we had several. We had recessions with Obama. We had problems with W. We had, and the game prices never changed.
There was, because I remember working at Walmart and people were robbing people at that point.
Mushroom. So
We've had a lot of recessions.
We've had economic turmoil several times, and you know, during that time, game prices, at least for Nintendo, never really changed. And that's because of, you know, what Nintendo and Japan decided about what the pricing scale.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, because there's been inflation a lot, you know, in the past in the games for this game. I was thinking about that as well.
Right now, there is no negotiation, as well as we have no, like, the current Nintendo president and Nintendo of America president do not talk the way that Reggie and Iwata and Miyamoto did. They're not close. They don't have, like, Reggie was devastated when Iwata passed away because it was like losing his best friend. Like, they were very close.
They even made that cool
Fire.
video.
Yeah, they made the 150cc Kenzie. No, it's not your fault.
Usually I have to line it up. But yeah, they made that cool video together where they were like doing a whole martial arts.
You mean the Smash Brothers thing? Yeah.
Hey, that's pretty good.
Yeah, they did the Smash Brothers thing.
Not too bad, right?
I feel like for Reggie, the job was a passion. For Doug Bowser, it's
a job.
It's a 9-to-5 job. It's like, I am the president of Nintendo until 5 o'clock, and then I am a person with my day off. Whereas Reggie was like the president of Nintendo in the house all the time.
Yep.
The Reginator.
The Reggie created, no, actually Piccolo created aura farming, but Reggie definitely was like, you know, he was that charismatic, like, leader that everybody looked up to. Everybody in the game industry loved Reggie. Because wherever he went, not only did he pull crowds, but also, like, you knew something fun was going to happen. Because Reggie just had, like, an absolute excitement for games because he was a gamer. The problem I have with most of the executives at Nintendo right now, they don't have that mantra because they're not gamers.
They also don't have the light in their eyes like Iwata did, where they were excited about the game. Like, oh yeah, and in this game, game, and I loved how Miyamoto showed that thing like with his pet, where you could see that he also enjoyed putting his pet in the game. So it's like, but the current people's like, you don't even hear Doug Bowser sing, and I like to play this with my family, and I'm excited about doing this. He's not going to be playing these games at all. It's like the guy who voiced the guy from Skylanders. Oh my God, Patrick Warburton or whatever. He voiced Flynn from Skylanders, and the guy was like, "Oh, so have you been playing the Skylanders games with your kids?" And he's like, "I was in a game? What?"
I thought it was a TV show. I had no idea.
He didn't even know he was like one of the main characters of Skylanders.
Oh, I didn't realize that. I came in, I did a recording job, and they gave me money, and...
You had no idea.
Yeah. Yep. He had, and I remember he was at that one party in California, and they're like, "Oh wow, you're like the main character in this game." He's like, "What? I'm just here for the free food."
That was disappointing to me.
Yeah, because I thought he was gonna be super excited, like, "Yeah, I'm playing a video game."
I mean, he should have at least put his hands on the controller and at least played the first level. I just feel like we were owed at least that. I just feel
Disappointed.
we should have at least tried the game out. It's just disappointing.
I hate this game.
I still love Skylanders though. I never look at the character Flynn the same way since I know his voice actor or his actor playing it is not. No, he was.
Amber, fire it. Dang it. Can't be helped.
Do you want to hire somebody else to It's funny that people think that you hired an actress to play games with you, because if that were so, wouldn't I be better at games and be more likable?
You are likable. Try
Luke,
again.
I am neither. I am
Try
neither
again.
likable nor good at games.
You should immediately just go to the character you want to have.
Alright.
Try
I feel like every time you say go, I have a delay, and then I do it.
You do have a delay.
Right, and then it's inevitably bad.
You do have a delay.
Then just hit the button. Then hit it on my thing.
I can't control your character.
You can just hit this Y button here. I'll just push it over here.
Yeah, if this keeps happening, I'll do one player. 2, 3. Or we can do like 100 CCs where we're against each other. But yeah, that's why. But you have to understand that most YouTubers don't do research. How YouTubers do the news is they see a headline, then they read a little bit of the headline, especially the controversial stuff, and then they make a video.
Yeah, but don't they get lots of mean comments then?
They don't care about mean comments. They leave the mean comments.
Why?
Mean comments equals engagement, because what's going to happen is if there's somebody who's going to defend you, they're going to go to where the mean comment is and they're going to reply. Then the mean person's going to come back and they're going to reply, and there's going to be like a war in the comment section.
But then it creates people to be so angry.
Of course it does, but also it fuels engagement on a channel. So, and YouTubers know that. So the reason why YouTubers leave up hate comments, it's not that they agree with the people that are having dissenting opinions. They leave it up so that they can basically have more people engage on that video. Remember, hold the banana.
Hold the banana.
You can hold it in as a shield.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, you should be able to. I don't know.
Alright, well, I didn't hold it. I didn't know there was a thing. When you said hold it, I thought you meant put it down.
No, it's the same for many.
Sorry.
So if you hold it,
How do I know if there's somebody trying to come after me?
you just use it as a shield behind you to protect from getting hit.
Oh, you just hold it all the time.
Just hold it in.
Okay, I just did hold it.
So it just drops it.
Okay, what? I just hold it. I'm
Yeah,
holding
okay.
it in.
Yep, there's no holding in this game.
Oh,
Every Mario Kart except for this one. I thought you could hold it. It's okay. It's not a problem.
Who's number one now? Luigi.
Oh, you guys are in a Luigi card. That's cute. So they actually did have a pair of each person. Donkey Kong Diddy, Baby Mario, Baby Luigi.
Like, back in the day, Amber and I could have been more popular if we never kept comments that were too mean, because what would happen was, in the community, people would fight. And yeah, videos would do really well because you'd get hundreds of comments, but I mean, people would death threat each other, they would call each other names. And our community, what we were always trying to do is we were trying to make a safe place on the internet for people that were gamers to come and not have to worry about, like, you know, so much controversy. And then the activist era began, and, you know, it was very hard to avoid any type of controversies because now they were literally in the game.
It's hilarious that we're being attacked as controversial since we're probably one of the least controversial people ever.
But we were always kind of like the Mr. Rogers of the internet because, like, we created a place where...
That's what people used to call us.
Yeah, we were a safe place where people could come and just have fun with gaming. And a lot of that is, like, you go back and you look at most of our comment section, there's really not a lot of nasty comments.
Yeah.
Because we erased them.
Well, I mean, some of them were hidden by our viewers.
Yeah.
If it's really bad.
But, like, other channels, like, the reason why Asmongold is so popular is not necessarily because of his opinions. His opinions are very, like, middle of the road. But he keeps up all the nasty comments, and what happens is, like, hundreds of people are fighting with each other all the time. And those videos go viral all the time because they're just... And same thing, like, with those Geeks and Gamer guys. They leave up all the hateful comments, too, and it fuels engagement.
Yeah, I did notice, like, there's a few of the videos, like, that we got, you know, stuff like that on accident. But mainly we just let the comments up because they weren't fighting with each other, they were just yelling at us. Like,
well, super old viral videos, like, we can't... I mean, we have way too many videos to police. I only keep up with comments, like, for new releases for, like, the first, like, few days.
I meant, like, one of the ones, for example, that, you know, we got a lot of views by accident on. It was one of our top 10 videos, I think, is the Disney Infinity showcase of, Big Hero 6.
Mm-hmm.
And the main reason why that has so many views is because of the comment section. Because basically what we did, you can hear us say on the video, like, we have not seen this movie yet. We do not know what the movie is about. We don't know the plot of it. We haven't seen it. And we started talking about what we thought the movie might be about based on the comments. But you're on a corner.
As soon as you get the items, you gotta use the items.
Why? If you're in a corner, how could you possibly...
Because I'm good enough to steer.
Well, I don't do that.
I
See, this is... I don't think this is going to work out.
It's okay. If this doesn't work out, then I'll do it single player. Or we could verse each other. It doesn't matter. We have two different styles. It's fine.
But, like, in that video, it's, like, all of the comments... Like, it's funny that we actually mentioned to people...
Amber, you got him right.
You were being smashed at the time, and I actually did push the button. I did push it.
Okay. Alright, let's try again. This time versus. You can be whoever you want. Oh wait, why is it...
I don't know, you went through it so fast, I have no idea what you're doing.
This is supposed to be a versus. No, there it is. Whoa, 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 whoa.
Maybe if you take 1 second to breathe.
Let's go with that.
But it's interesting on that video that we actually said we have never seen Big Hero 6 in theaters. We don't know what the movie's going to be about. So we guessed what the movie might be about based on the fact there was a comic. So we imagined what the movie would be about, and then everyone was screaming at us like, that wasn't in the movie! And it's like, we said at the beginning,
right.
We never watched it, but
just like,
literally we didn't even say anything wrong. We literally told people we have never seen it.
Well, back in the day, mistakes would get attention. So there were some YouTubers that purposely, when they made videos to annoy people, like, they'll make a Zelda completion video and they'll be like, I'm a huge Zelda fan. And then they show a picture. No, they show a picture of Link.
Oh.
And they're like, Zelda's games are really cool because he wears green and he has... They would do
oh,
that
like
on purpose.
they would pretend that they thought that was Zelda.
Right, because then what's going to happen is people are going to write in the comment section, Link is the name of the character, Zelda's the princess.
Right.
And, you know, thousands and thousands of people
They would
are
all
going to
write
write
the
that.
same thing.
Right.
Yeah, that's what happened with the Big Hero 6. That's why that video got so many views.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because people just screaming at us.
Back in the day, a lot of YouTubers would purposely make mistakes in their videos so that people would leave a comment. It was
And it
bait.
has to be a mistake that's so obvious. Like, basically what we said was we were like, well, we said, you know, like something about the son dying or something. Like, it was an extremely important plot point. And, you know, and we talked about that, and then they were like, that's not what happens at all. He doesn't die. And they were just screaming it. So, yeah.
It had to do, like, we were talking about the comic book of Big Hero 6.
Yeah, we did
compared
talk
to-
about it. We said in the comics, it's something like a robot. His dad, he makes a robot out of his dad. I don't know. He makes a robot with his dad personality or something. Yeah. And so yeah, exactly. The comic is weirder than the movie. Well, I mean, I thought it would be interesting. Like, I can't believe no one actually caught on what we were saying, because we were comparing what the movie might be based on the comic. I thought it was an interesting thing we were talking about, but people were so ignorant that they were just like, that doesn't happen in the movie. It's like, there was a comic book. That's what we said at the beginning. Like, did you not hear our intro at all?
Yep.
I don't even know how you can come in on the middle of a video, though, since a video you have to watch from the beginning. So how could you not hear the intro to it? I don't know.
But, I mean, that, like, people used a lot of tricks back in the day for that kind of stuff. But now, basically, what people do is they purposely say something that is going to cause an emotional reaction. And people, you know, leave a comment.
Yeah, but eventually, like, how could you take yourself seriously when you're not even building a reputation for being, like, a reasonable person? You're just, like, lying all the time for video clicks.
But I mean, this is also, like, the difference between liberal commentators and conservative ones is liberals remove dissenting opinions. Like, the reason why they always ask, why aren't my news videos getting as much, like, attentions or grift as, like, conservative, like, speakers? It's because conservatives leave the hate on there, so, you know, they can get more attention. The liberals always erase stuff that is a dissenting opinion. They never... Everyone has to have the same opinion on their news videos, and they create an echo chamber. But if you look at it, there's a huge difference. Like, their views they have the same amount of subscribers. They have millions of subscribers too, but their views are considerably lower. Why? It's because they're removing...
They don't leave the option to argue in the comments.
They're removing the engagement, or they take the ability to rate their videos, or they take the ability for people to leave comments, and those videos do terribly because there's no way to leave a like or a thumbs down, and there's no way to comment, so there's no way for the people to engage. That's all it is, it's engagement. If we had like hundreds of comments after each live stream, every live stream we did would get 1,000 views, easily.
That was why your first video did better, because people were arguing about, like, if the price was low or high. And then people were being really toxic and being like, oh, well, if you can't buy it, then maybe you should just get a fourth job.
Right.
You can afford it because you're a loser, because you work at a place that can't afford much.
Right, but I'll tell you what happened. Like, if I would have left those comments alone, that video probably would have gotten 30 or 40,000 views. But I started erasing comments and hiding comments as soon as I woke up, because there was some really nasty stuff. There were people saying, you know, bleep yourself over this. And
yeah, like, how can you have a community with people saying that kind of stuff?
You can't, but, like, the thing is, too, like, in order to get lots of members and, like, to have, like, a fun community, you know, you need to attract people that are nice. And
yeah. So you either go for getting a nice community with members and you know, like people that are going to be long term, or you just go for the
Right.
or you go for the cash grab where you just leave all the toxic.
If you're going for like gathering a toxic audience, that audience is not going to stick with you. They're fair weather.
They're just going from video to video.
Right. So the 178 people that subscribed because of that video, probably only 40 are going to stay, and out of that 178, there might only be like maybe 20 or 30 like people that have like common sense as well as like they're decent people. The other people, those are view gremlins. Those are people that are there because they like controversy, they like, you know, dissenting opinions, and they just, I don't know, they tend to migrate more towards videos that are very abrasive.
Yeah.
They like that kind of stuff. It's entertainment for them.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why even in YouTube I keep getting pushed all these negative things in my feed all the time.
Because it makes money.
And I hate all the negativity on YouTube. It's very stressful, you know, like, oh, watch this person embarrass themselves in front of their house. It's like, I don't want to watch someone embarrass themselves. Why would I want to watch that? Like,
but
what's
if
wrong
we,
with people?
if we were not religious people, and we didn't believe in right and wrong and stuff like that, or like, you know, being a safe place for like families and gamers and stuff like that, our channel would have blown up years ago because we never would have removed the comments. Most Let's Players don't remove their comments. They leave them up, all this other stuff. But they also, like, when push comes to shove and they're in trouble and they reach out for their viewers for help, or they say, hey, we have a Patreon, we have this, they don't, even though they have millions of subscribers, they only have, like, you know, 20 people on their Patreon.
Well, I think there's two different reasons people remove comments. Like, there's people trying to control their narrative and make it look like everyone agrees with them. And then there's people that are trying to remove them when these comments are... Like, there's people, like, I feel like we try to do that this way, where if someone to disagree with us, we don't mind that, but if they're screaming at someone to go jump off a bridge because they disagree, or they're yelling at our viewers, then yeah, I mean, we're going to delete it.
Well, of course.
But it's like, because, you know, we're not going to allow someone to threaten someone else.
No. Yeah, that's 100%.
I mean, I wish that more people did that, where they allow the dissenting of comments to be there, but only if it's done in a respectful way.
Yep.
Like, I wish everyone would do that, honestly. Then YouTube wouldn't be an insane place to be anymore.
You have a blue shell, by the way. You've had one for quite some time.
Yeah, you guys can see the difference. It's the level you're at. I can't even...
No, it's just, you just don't pay attention. It has nothing to do with skill level. You're a little slow to respond. You forget the items that you have. It's just like when you're doing like a beat 'em up game, I have to remind you that you have a super ability or something like that. It's just the little things, but sometimes the little things are how you do well in a game, though. That's all.
I know that.
I can't believe you can't actually hold and get back. It's weird. I thought you could do that.
You can try it on your own.
What's amazing to me is how this game is like 20 plus years old, right? And it's still fun. Like, I'm having fun playing this, even though this game is like wicked old.
Maybe that, I mean, I used to actually... It's funny because a lot of our older videos, a lot of the mean comments were still there from 12 years ago. And so we didn't do anything to... Like, I'm talking about the very mean comments. I just saw, you know, on one of our videos with, you know, millions of views, I didn't get a chance to delete it, but there was some, like, you know, just cussing us out comments on there and stuff, and that's from 12 years ago. Well, and I didn't even know people use that language.
Right. But here's the thing. With those videos, like I said, you and I were pumping out a video every day. Those videos would go viral every once in a while, right? And we were working on the next video, because as YouTubers, what people don't understand is, like, we were never trying to be famous. When we got our first real paycheck, after we learned that GameStation was stealing our money and siphoning our income for years when we were early YouTube partners.
We were just trying to survive, because they were only paying us 10% of what we earned.
Oh, no. They were paying us less than that.
they stole 90% of every paycheck, so that's why we were working so hard.
It wasn't 90. It wasn't 90. But we would see one thing because we worked really hard. So we saw one thing and it said like this huge amount, and then our paycheck was so like it was barely like $2,000 or something. And then we learned that they were taking like this huge amount.
And that was when we were extremely successful.
Right. That's when
when we were making millions and millions and millions of views on every video, and they barely paid us anything. We couldn't even pay rent, and we were just
And then when we finally got out of that company, we were able to live comfortably in Boston. Amber and I went to a nice grocery store.
So we weren't even motivated by greed. We were motivated by survival, even when we were doing well on YouTube.
But when everybody else was trying to get millions of views, Amber and I found the way to make YouTube a daily job. And we knew how many videos we need to make, how many views they needed to get. Even if they stayed like around 20,000 views a video, we had a very comfortable living. So at the get-go, we always planned to make YouTube a 9-to-5 job. It was never about, man, I want to get 1 million subscribers and I want to go to Rome and I want to do all this other stuff. I want people to see me. I want to flex all the stuff I own. It was like, no, we're gonna, do games that are popular that we know are gonna get views. And we're going to make money so that we can survive, so that we can live.
Yeah, I mean, one of the people we looked up to was our network boss, not just behavioral, but also in the Hong Kong area.
The Hong Kong boss, yeah, he was really nice.
One of the things that he always was very respectful of us working together, and he told us that, he had an entire business collapse, like, to the ground. And he moved his entire family to the Philippines and started completely over.
Yep.
And that was very inspiring to me, to the fact that, he could work himself from $0 back to owning an entire, like, multi-million-dollar, like, YouTube network with tons of huge YouTubers that were all had millions of subscribers.
Yep.
So, like, that's what we, like, the kind of people we look up to.
Yeah.
But yeah.
We looked up to people that were go-getters, that worked hard, and all this other stuff. Honey, you have to finish your race in order for it to end.
I thought we were done.
No, it's not automatic. You're thinking
gosh.
future Mario Kart games, like, retire you. Older Mario Kart games, you have to cross the finish line. Nintendo wants you to finish the race.
Why?
Because it's important to finish the race. Even when it's like, life is like a tunnel.
Oh no.
Oh yes, life is like a tunnel. And even though things get hard in the tunnel, if you keep walking, eventually you'll make it to the other side of the tunnel. Or you'll end up deeper in the tunnel, but you have to keep going through the tunnel.
What's really sad is by 2013, when we first started to actually get our actual real paychecks, then we had the government come after us and take everything away. So we almost never actually gotten what we were looking for. And if we are able to pay it all back, the money we already paid them, which was a tax error, if we can pay it all back and actually start making an income, we could actually have our first real paycheck that we'd be beyond breaking even. So, it's just crazy.
Well, yeah, we've been paying back stuff for like 15 years. And it wasn't our fault. Like, a lot of people ask, like, how did you get into the financial strait that you were in? It's like, we had a company steal 4 months of revenue from us, and then the savings that we made after we got out of Game Station, my wife and I were living in Boston. We had to live off our savings for 4 months, getting food, paying all our bills, and by the time the YouTube revenue started paying us again after 4 months, we had no savings anymore. So we literally, it was a do or die situation, because like, YouTube was fighting this company that they stole YouTube network. It never happened before. A YouTube network made off with over $1 million from like all their content creators, and they fled. It was a former YouTube partner manager in the UK, a gentleman in China, and like 2 people in Iceland or whatever made up the original Foxittle network. So they stole all the YouTubers' income for the 4 months. They just, everything. And it wasn't just like the regular income. It was the holiday income. So when revenue was the highest from October all the way through January.
You used to get paid like almost like you'd get like 5 times as much sometimes on the holiday, and then on like January and February, and then the rest of the year you'd make 5 times less.
Right. So
that's how it used to work on YouTube. So when they would steal 2 months and it was the holiday pay, they stole your entire year of pay.
Yeah. So what we had to do is, you know, because Amber and I were saving up for our future, in order to get by, we had to use all our savings and we were frantically in a fight with YouTube and with the police and all this other stuff to get paid, because our savings this was before super chats and memberships. Like, there was no way to get direct income. We had no PayPal, we had nothing. Or not PayPal, we had no Patreon. So by the time our savings were completely exhausted by the February of 2015, I think it was, and like out of a miracle from God, like YouTube was able to start paying us again, and we just made our rent.
Yeah, we would have been homeless.
We were going to be homeless, yeah.
In fact, there's many times where we were almost homeless doing YouTube. We had to... There's a lot of things we had to do that... It's just insane. Like, it's been a wild ride, I'll tell you.
So, and then, like, on top of that, like, we thought everything was going to be better, but then the IRS made that huge mistake, and we've been paying for their mistake for
already paid them.
11 years.
We've already paid them, and even our accountant said we already paid them.
And the thing that
we're paying them back 3 times.
Right. The thing that I hate about the IRS, which is like a government that needs like some adjustments, is if they make a mistake, it doesn't matter if they made a mistake in the books or not. They hold you responsible.
They don't care if they made a mistake or not. They still expect it.
Right.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, well, I don't even want to go into the IRS, but there's been a few people that have been able to go take the IRS to court and win. And the only people that have been able to do that, and I looked it up many years ago, is they use a certain clause in the U.S. Constitution. And they can usually, if you have a really good lawyer, you can win against them.
But you have to have a lot of money to go up against the IRS in court.
Oh, yeah.
Which we do not.
But there has been a few people that have won, and the clause that they use against them is the clause stating that that there will be no income tax. Because there is actually a clause in the U.S. Constitution that says that the income tax is illegal.
Do you know that the IRS was actually created in the year 1913? So the IRS was not around during the time of Washington, Lincoln, all this other stuff.
Having a national income tax is actually illegal. It's actually part of the reason why the country was started, is because we were being taxed to death.
I know.
And then, ironically, the IRS is worse than the taxes we were getting from King George.
Yeah, because they require, like, some taxes in the U.S. require some businesses to do 25%.
The whole point of the United States was that you were supposed to be able to vote twice. You vote once at the polls, and then you vote the second time with your wallet. So, from what I remember from government class, the way that it used to work when the United States was first started was they didn't want the government to have too much power over the people. So basically what would happen is, say you voted and you said, I voted for my state representative, and they went to Congress or whatever, and I don't want to be in this war. We're going to start a war with who knows. And the state representative said, I'll vote against the war. But then your state representative lied because they're a politician, so they voted for the war. And you can't help that because they voted for that, but what can you do about it? Guess what? Before the income tax was taken away, there was something you could do about it. It was your second voting. You voted with your wallet. So, if everyone in the whole country was against the war and all the politicians voted for the war and went against what their constituents wanted, you could actually vote with your wallet. They had to go around, back in the day before income tax, they had to send a government official to every town, to every state, and they had to collect the money to pay the soldiers for the war. Mm-hmm. So what you could do is not pay them the money for the soldiers for the war, and then that would be your civil protest, and then they could put you in jail for it, but You weren't forced to pay it. Today, you're forced to pay for a reward. You cannot civilly protest. Everything in the IRS, it's one lump sum. But back in the day, each tax was separate. They would say, here's the tax for helping the park system. And I'll say, oh, okay, I'll pay that. Okay, now I need the tax for the war. It's like, oh, I don't want to pay that. And then they'd be like, well, you're going to go to jail. It's like, oh, well, I'm going to protest. You were allowed to do that.
So, some of you guys are probably curious. I can't go into too much detail, but basically, Amber and I were a small LLC, like a very small-owned business. And what the IRS did is they labeled us as a corporation. So instead of like having like a 15% tax, we had a 45%, which was insane. But, you know, Amber and I didn't know a lot about taxes back then, as well as like all this other stuff. So it was both an accounting error and it was an error on the IRS's front, and they held us to that standard, which we couldn't afford, obviously, and then we ended up like having to pay them back.
It wasn't only that, though. There was a lot of problems. They didn't count our business expenses. They charged us for Social Security that we paid them back, but then they said we didn't pay it back to the Social Security Department. We paid it back to the IRS on accident, or our accountant did. So then we had to pay it back twice. They said that we just taxed 90% of your Social Security you paid us, which means that they didn't even count it as us paying them back, even though we paid them every penny back that they ever gave us.
Right.
Then they said we're going to need that entire amount again for the last 5 years.
So basically, like, they saw us as a corporate entity, which we weren't, and so there was no way that we should have been receiving that high a thing, because there was only 2 employees. It was just me and Amber, and we were not making anywhere that a corporation would make. We were a small LLC, which is a limited liability corporation.
We were always breaking even, though, because we could never afford our taxes. Because every year we were always on a payment plan with them. We never were able to pay our taxes ever with them, because they were always charging us. So then the next year we'd have to work ourselves even harder to try to pay the next year, and then they charge us even more.
And then YouTube started to pay us less.
And then finally we were getting to breathe when we moved to Pennsylvania. And we thought, well, we're going to save a ton of money and, try not to have any expenses, and just, try not to go to any conventions, and just try to get this taken care of. And then they charged us even more, hit us even harder.
Yep.
And they expected us to pay back 5 years of taxes that we had already paid.
Yep.
We had already overpaid for.
Yeah, and it's just so you guys know, it's tax season, so April 15th is when taxes are due. So,
but, I mean, it's insane. Like, I have to write down every tiny wire that we have purchased and everything, because if you don't write it down, they're going to tax you a tremendous amount for each thing you don't write down on your business expenses, because your business expenses mean they can't tax you on that.
I know.
I don't even know why we're explaining this to a bunch of people that don't really probably do this.
Lots of people who do taxes. They're all adults.
I know, but I'm saying, what? I don't know.
Alright. So, how are you guys doing in terms of hourly? You guys are doing great. Alright, so keep watching the shorts. You're doing fine. And we're almost done with the star thing, I think. Yeah, there should be one more course left of star. Oh, wait, no. It's this one, and then there's another one.
I'm not trying to correct you, but I have done taxes on all of my jobs that I've been at. It is not hard.
Mm-hmm.
You just turn in the W-2 and you pay your taxes.
I know.
It is much harder to do taxes on your personal business.
I know that.
You have to count every single thing.
I'm aware.
I don't think you are, because Stevens. I don't even know what we're talking about.
I'm trying to move away from it, actually. Trying to move away. I'm thinking. The stream's gone over almost 3 hours, so I'm thinking. This is gonna take me a minute. Also, I always mess up on this
So what do you
board.
think of Emma Frost in the next game?
I haven't played Emma Frost yet, so I think she's a tank or something, but I don't really play with tanks.
I was looking at GIFs of Emma Frost online because I was trying to share your video, and I guess she does have short hair in like some of the animated versions of her.
The one that I remember, she had long hair.
I don't know what the short hair version is.
80s.
But they must have based it off of that. I felt it was weird that somebody in the comments, I don't know if they were trolling or serious, but they were like, this character kind of looks like Emma Frost. It's like...
It is Emma Frost. The White Queen is Emma Frost.
I have no idea what it's saying.
The White Queen is her mutant name. Emma Frost is her human name. Or, not human. It's her name. Her name's Emma, but her handle, or her villain, she was a villain. They made her an anti-hero in the 2000s, but she was a bad guy.
Yeah, she sounds like a villain with her catchphrases.
But she's supposed to be a
She sounds mean.
dominatrix.
You deserve that and all this stuff. Like, wow, you're mean.
So the original Emma Frost wore a white corset with like bathing suit bottom and boots and a cape, and she was supposed to look like, you know, a very alluring, seductive, like, you know, bad guy. She wasn't. She was like the opposite of Jean Grey, who they're both psychics. Both very powerful psychics, but Jean Grey is a very conservative, sweet, kind. Emma Frost is the opposite. She's a very, like, you know, she's very alluring.
She looks like, if you would imagine her outfit in all black, with black thigh-high boots, and, like, a swimsuit, and, like, black cape, like, it would look like she was wearing a pretty raunchy outfit.
Right, but she's supposed to be like that. That's how her outfit is, because she's supposed to be like that. It's just supposed to be a distraction.
I know.
As well as she's supposed to be like, oh, she wants to tell the goody two shoe people, like, hey, look at me. You know, you're with this, like, girl who probably can't even blah 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 blah. You know, that's
what's the blah 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 blah? Can't even
adult conversation stuff.
Can't even play the piano?
Sure, let's go with that. Yeah. Play the piano in a dark room with another person.
Can't even play the... You're with a girl that can't even play the piano or the trombone very well. What a loser.
Yeah, something like that. So she was always, like, flirting with Scott when he had a relationship with Jean Grey.
You're with a girl that can't play basketball very well. What a loser. You probably can't even knit a blanket for one of your family members.
The crazy thing to me is, like, people always say that, well, his meant-to-be girl is Emma. It's like, no, it's not. He's supposed to be with Jean.
Emma's like...
Jean is supposed to be his, like, Midwestern, like, relationship thing. Emma Frost is the bad girl that
like Black Cat.
She's like the mistress of like, you know... It's not a girl you settle down with. She's the girl that's the homewrecker.
She doesn't have high moral standards.
No. That's why it's so weird to me. They're like, well, you don't know Emma. Emma's like, it's like, Emma is...
You can tell what she's like by the fact that...
She's a Jezebel.
The fact that she's flirting with someone who's already taken, you already know that right there. She's not a good girl.
She's not supposed to be a good girl. She never... And then they're like, well, Jean always has a thing for Wolverine. It's like, no, Wolverine has a thing for Jean.
That's because people are blind when it comes to a pretty girl. They will do anything. And this is exactly what happened with the 3 houses, Fire Emblem 3 houses. That girl was literally having demons work for her to burn villages to the ground and kill innocent people. And I was like, well, this girl's not doing very good. And everyone was like, how dare you? You don't know what she's really like. It's like, I'm watching her burn a village to the ground in front of me. And you're telling me she's a good person? Like, this is how men act. Everything that they do is like, oh, well, you know, she's wearing basically nothing. She's practically one step away from being completely without any clothes on at all. So she must be a good person.
What I don't understand, why did the bad girls, who basically wear next to nothing, why do the activists always say those characters are so cool, but if another superhero like Rogue or Jean Grey, they say her outfit is too skin tight, when literally Emma Frost is walking around in a corset and a bikini bottom, and they're like, wow, she's so empowered. It's like, what? You have a problem with Rogue's outfit and Jean Grey, but you don't have a problem with Emma Frost? It's like double standards.
I don't know. That's crazy to me that people...
They always lift Emma Stone up to, like, such a high degree over there. Like, the best psychic and the best X-Men character is Emma, but it's like, Emma literally dresses like a streetwalker compared to, like, Rogue and Jean Grey. So and they have problems with Rogue and Jean Grey. It makes no sense.
So they're fine with women... Maybe because women are scantily clad and are evil are not really a threat because they're not, they have, you know, no, because they're not, I don't know, they're just not good people.
I know that they're not good people, but they're always like, oh, she's a better psychic than Jean and all this other stuff. It's like, how?
Yeah, I don't know that.
I don't know.
Maybe they relate to evil people because they're evil. I don't know.
I always thought that, actually.
I mean, I would just go to my key thing.
Ah!
I would just.
I'm not reading that out.
Would just
I can't read that out loud.
Whenever I see crazy people that don't seem to make sense, I just think, well, they must be possessed. I don't know.
I can't read Granddaddy's chat out loud.
Thank you for the
super chat, though.
Otaku.
Thank you.
You want me to read it?
No.
Luke says I can't read your super chat.
No, Amber will read that out loud. Amber can't read that out loud. Because that is that's Xenoblade humor that doesn't apply to this game. Can't read that one. Thank you though for the super chat. That made me laugh though. Alright, next course.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, no one's gonna understand that.
Yeah, no. In context to Xenoblade, it makes sense.
You're a girl who cannot. Yeah.
No. Thank you for the super chat. Okay, guys, so we got one more course with 100 cc's. One more. We're not winning carts anymore. Why are we not winning carts anymore? I don't understand how this works.
Yeah, but I mean,
yeah. Now saving. It's possible I used this memory. You know what? I think I used this memory card. I did a review of Double Dash many years ago on the O1 channel, remember? I think what happened is this memory card that's up there, that memory card was used when I did that Double Dash review. So the reason why we're not continually getting new carts and stuff as we play is because, like, I've already done this. Like, remember, those memory cards are really old. Those memory cards are 20+ years old.
Hi, Charles. Didn't Wolverine and Jean fall in love with each other? Yes, I think so, Charles.
Kind of.
She kind of makes Scarlet Witch look like Mother Teresa in comparison, with just saying a lot because she's Magneto's daughter. Yeah, Scarlet Witch. Yeah, definitely Miss Deanna. Jean is 1,000 times better than Emma Frost, says Keyblade.
Of course she is. Emma Frost is the bad girl who, you know, for whatever reason in the 2000s, they're like, hey, we need to make a lot of our... We don't have enough anti-heroes at Marvel. DC has a lot of anti-heroes, like female villains that got kind of like a reprieve and they became kind of good. I don't
playing as Bowser.
You want to play as Bowser? Okay.
Yeah.
Alright, last one.
Female in it.
So there was this thing in the 2000s where they went through and they redid bad guys and made them kind of good.
I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but people don't... I mean, that's really not fair. Just because Emma Frost wears that outfit outside, you know...
No, she doesn't dress like that anymore. She dressed like that in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, and early 2000s.
She doesn't know if Jean Grey... She doesn't know if Jean Grey has an outfit like that, but she just keeps it out inside her home, like a normal human being.
A conservative girl...
I'm just saying.
A conservative girl does not dress to flaunt herself out in the open. Like,
yeah, not outside.
In the privacy of their own home, yeah, she could have an outfit like, you know, Emma Stone for her husband or whatever. That's normal. But she's not going to go outside in that because she's not trying to, you know, seduce the entire world. It's it's a privacy thing.
Right.
Just like if you had a Sailor Moon costume, I wouldn't want, you know, people staring at your legs or other assets. I would want to see that in the privacy of our home. You know, like the Princess Peach costume you get. It's like, that's kind of for me. You know? It's normal. But I would feel a little jealous and kind of like, you know, why is Amber wearing something like this out?
Yeah, I mean, that's like kind of a normal response. Like, some guys don't seem to care, but
some guys don't.
I think, like, it's more normal. Like, you would, if you care about your, you know, lady, I think it would make sense that you would care.
I mean, if she dressed that way... Also, have you noticed, like, some women, like, they dress a certain way when they were in college and whatever, when they were first dating, but as they get married, they change how they dress, like, afterwards when they go out. They're not, like, really wearing a lot of, like, flashy stuff anymore.
Yeah.
It's because, you know, they're happy, they're content. They have, you know, their husband or, you know, a stable relationship, and they don't need to dress that way anymore.
They don't need to have a relationship with the whole world.
Exactly. Yeah. Yep. And sometimes I've seen women dress that way, and then they're trying to get a reaction from their significant other so that, you know, they say, hey, wait a second, I don't want you to go out like that, because they're not paying attention to them enough. Like, I've seen them do that. That makes sense, because it's gonna get a reaction. It's gonna be like, wait a second, what's going on? We're just going to Wendy's. What? No, here, why don't you put a jacket on, honey, or that skirt's too short.
Well, there was actually a lady on What Not to Wear that she, I think her last person that she was with divorced her, and she felt very insecure with her new husband, and so whenever they go out to eat, she would wear, like, extremely raunchy clothing, like, just randomly. And so they actually taught her to dress really well, that, you know, it would make him still pay attention to her. Like, her outfit looked really pretty, but she didn't have to be, like, flaunting everything. And I think it worked for her, actually. She felt a lot better about herself. But she was just extremely insecure, but it wasn't because of her. It wasn't her fault. She was, like, mistreated by her last, like, relationship.
Of course.
So it really wasn't her fault. Like, I mean, it's understandable.
Of course.
It was basically her, I remember her on the show basically saying that, you know, she said, well, what if he sees a girl that's really pretty? I want him to be looking at me instead. But it's like, but you have to, you know, you have to trust, like, at some point, you're gonna have to trust your boyfriend or husband to the point where you're gonna have to be like, you know, if you care about me, you're not gonna go stare at somebody who's coming in with a bikini into Wendy's. Hopefully you won't glare at her and be like, well, I'm sorry, what? When you're trying to talk
I mean,
to them.
if a lady walks into a Wendy's with a bikini, I'm sorry, but every guy is gonna see that.
Oh my gosh, but you should have just turned around and stopped
Well,
talking.
of course they're gonna turn around afterwards, but I mean, it's like, it's gonna happen. It's happened before. You know? But it's not like, I'm not like, I'm not taking like mental screenshots.
This is why this lady was wearing what she was wearing. See, she knew that guys are like this.
Right. I want to answer this question. This is from Game Kid. Hi, Game Kid. What are your guys' thoughts on the Switch Tour game that basically is a guide costing money? I can talk about this because I agree. The difference between the Wii Sports, as I'm going to quote Reggie Fils-Aimé here, Wii Sports was fun right outside the box. It was a sports game that had like 4 sports in it. It had bowling, tennis, I don't remember all of them. Bowling, tennis, and I thought it had like at least like 2 or 3 things built in. Did it have baseball? It had baseball. Baseball, tennis, bowling. What was the other sport? Wii Sports, the original, yeah. Didn't it have 4 sports? Bowling, tennis, baseball, and there was one other. I can't remember what the other one was.
It was soccer.
No, it wasn't soccer.
I thought it was running.
No.
Track.
No, it wasn't track. No.
I thought you could go jogging.
No, that was Wii Sports Resort. What were there were 4 sports in the original Wii Sports, but I can't remember.
Plane riding?
Nope, that's Wii Sports Resort.
What were the things that you said?
There's tennis,
Tennis.
bowling.
Bowling.
There's like one other game.
I don't think it was soccer.
No, I definitely think it was baseball. I think you could hit the ball.
Baseball, and then one other.
I don't remember the one. Golf!
Oh no.
Yeah, golf. Okay, so they're the 4 sports: baseball, tennis, golf, and bowling. Right out of the box. Okay, so here's the difference, gang, and this is why this is stupid. And Nintendo wants to charge like $10 for this. At least they don't want to charge the full market price that they wanted for Wii Sports before Reggie. But as Reggie put it, Wii Sports Resort was fun right out of the box. Like, anyone who bought the Wii would be able to play what essentially was a tour of what the motion controls could do. right?
Yeah, because you could do different sports with it.
Right. So it was a fun, engaging activity that you and the whole family could play right away. Now, the Switch 2 Tour is like walking through a museum where you are getting information about what the system can do in occasional mini games that is laid out like a museum. So it'd be the difference of, are you going to take your kids to a sporting event, like a baseball game, or a soccer game, or a tennis match, or whatever? Or are you going to take them to a museum? Which one are they going to have more fun at? They're going to have more fun at the sporting event because, you know, it's flashy, it's bright, it's engaging, there's people cheering, there's all this stuff happening, whereas Nintendo's tour of what the Switch 2 can do, you're literally walking to museum exhibits.
Yeah.
And they play elevator music, and it's really boring, and they want to charge you admission to play it.
There you go. There's a great video. What was a better marketing? What was a better introduction? Like Wii Sports or this lame Switch 2? This lame Switch 2.
It's not that the Switch Tour is bad per se, because yeah, there are people that, you know, like to go to the museum and they like to, you know, read about all the specs and all the different things that the Switch 2 will be able to do eventually. But most people, a majority of the people, want a fun pack-in game that is going to be something that you'll look back, and Amber and I will always remember Wii Sports, not from the injuries that we got, but just from the sheer stupid fun we had playing it. No one is going to remember the Switch 2 Tour game because it's boring.
Thank you, Game Kid, for being a member for 25 months. Yeah, it's basically a guide that costs money. Exactly. Yeah, I agree. Like, even when we were looking at it, and I thought, and I even said, maybe I should skip over this.
I'm not getting it.
So bored.
I'm not getting it.
What do you mean, K-Wing? Says Granddaddy Otaku. I always wear my spicy Mario outfit when I go to Wendy's. Says Granddaddy Otaku.
We're not having this conversation.
Oh, come on, Luke.
Nope. Nope.
See, I thought you wanted me to do cosplay of things.
Of course I do, but...
No, I'm talking about, like photos from an Instagram or something. That's how a lot of girl gamers do.
I did want you to do cosplay,
No,
but I'm allowed to speak?
Yeah.
I wasn't going to have you wear R-rated cosplay.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, if I you know, got back to, you know, better shape and stuff, I would probably do cute cosplay.
There's lots of fun.
There's like, well, even Zelda's dresses are
right.
pretty. They're long.
There is good cosplay, and then there's spicy
even
cosplay.
A knee-length dress isn't that bad.
No.
Like, but if it's really raunchy, yeah, exactly.
Like, even you wearing a Sailor Scout outfit would be fine because they're not. No, they're not that bad.
Especially if you put tights under it.
You just can't wear the adult version of the Sailor costumes.
Right, I know there's a difference between outside and in the house, Luke.
Yeah.
I'm not an idiot.
I never said it. You're very smart.
I know there, and I feel like the internet, for me, this is why, like, some girls don't feel the same, but for me, and I respect, you know, girls having a different opinion, because I get it. You know, some girls are making their money off of cute cosplay, and they look great in it. They look fantastic. Like the couple that did like that we saw that did the Mortal Kombat outfit.
Yeah, but they were wearing authentic.
Well, that's what I would do. I wouldn't do a spicy version, but I would do an authentic.
Also, just so you know, like, and the internet knows in general, majority of the couples that do spicy cosplay, she either ends up cheating or leaving her spouse. Because she's getting all this, like, reinforcement from strangers that she's not getting from her husband or boyfriend.
That's what I was gonna say, is I think that many girls don't realize that when you do cosplay on your website and you're doing a Mortal Kombat, you know, person, and they're, you know, they have very high slit and whatever.
Not anymore.
But anyways, what I'm saying is, you look fit, you know, they look really good, obviously. But anyways, like, I feel like when they do that, when they take the picture, which is fine, like, they look fabulous and stuff, and they put it online on their website, I feel like it is almost like them walking into a Wendy's, with that because everyone in the world can see it.
Walking.
It is like walking into a Wendy's with that outfit. So you have to think, you know, would I walk into a Wendy's? Like, that's how you have to think about it.
The more you keep talking about Wendy's, they're so far away from us. It's like I'm thinking, I want Wendy's. But not just so I can go, like, basically, I Google people. It's like, I want a junior bacon cheeseburger or a Frosty.
I've had to wear outfits I'm not comfortable with when I was in show choir. We had to wear skirts that I wasn't comfortable with how short it was.
I missed that era of Amber.
I would have had to quit the choir.
I still have mental screenshots
so,
of Amber's beauty pageant. When I try to, what I'm saying, the only reason I'm saying that is just saying I'm not judging anyone. Like, I get that they do that for a job. I get that. Right.
But I'm saying if they had the choice to think about it, you know, it might help them become more safe if they think about it. Or maybe they could do 5 normal size cosplay and then do 1 spicy for every 5 normal.
Well, that's what they do. They put it behind a paywall.
Yeah. Well, then I guess they already have it figured out.
Yeah, they're very good on.
But I mean, you could theoretically. I mean, it's better. I mean, if it's an actual character that already is like that, that's already how they dress, and you're making it authentic. I don't think it's as bad if you make like a. You know, but it doesn't really matter. I don't even know how we got into this.
Somebody asked a question.
Now I want to see Granddaddy Otaku's spicy Mario outfit.
Nope. I would not be okay with that. No. Ooh, I don't know if I won overall. I might have lost. That was the last race.
I mean, it's interesting. Well, I won't say, but I thought certain family members would actually frown on me doing it, which isn't the main reason why I didn't. But actually, I did talk to a few family members, and they said, "I can't believe you're not doing this cosplay stuff." And I was like thinking, like, I'm thinking, like, wow, I didn't. Maybe they were picturing me just doing Princess Peach and with a very long dress. Because, like, I think there are very, very, very many, like, very conservatively dressed Nintendo characters. Peach, Zelda.
Yep.
You know, there are a lot of conservatively dressed characters.
Yep, I would encourage you if that's something you wanted to do. Just
Toad.
Just not the.
Well, I mean, cosplay costs a lot of money unless you learn to sew really well and you can just pick up whatever, you know, scrambled cloth for $20 and sew yourself with.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like, if I could pick any cosplay outfit and wear that for the rest of my life and work at a theme park and be that character, I would be Toad.
Be Toad?
Of course,
Make
that'd
a
be
great
my
Zelda.
number one. No, if I had to spend money on a good cosplay outfit, I'd be Toad. I'd walk up to people and scare them with my voice.
To me,
Hey!
okay. To me, you were always like that classic Zelda from A Link to the Past. Like that was my favorite version of Zelda. Until like probably Twilight Princess. But Twilight Princess, she's kind of like a girl boss, but not really. But the way that Princess Zelda carries herself in Twilight Princess is really cool. But I still like Zelda from, or I like the kind of girly princess from A Link to the Past.
If I could have any Zelda outfit and I could pick one that someone would just like deliver in exactly my size, like, and it would look really nice. It's hard to find it because I'm so short, and sometimes they're ordering it from Korea and the sizes are off, so it's always hard to find it. But I love Skyward Sword Zelda. I think she's one of my favorites. I would love that.
The one who pushes Link off the cliff?
Yeah, I relate to her the most.
Oh my god.
I love Skyward Sword Zelda. What's the matter?
She has very simplistic stuff. She wears a pink dress, and then she has like white robes.
Oh wait, no. Skyward Sword is my number 2. I forgot.
Who's your number 1?
It's the blue dress from
Link to the Past. Yeah, Link to the Past Zelda. Shoot.
No,
my race is over. That's it.
And I did try to get a Link to the Past costume, but I couldn't put it together.
That's it. I lost.
I had to go to a medieval store, and it didn't even work out. It didn't even look fun. It didn't look fun. I would have to sew it myself.
It's over. Sorry, guys. We didn't win Rainbow Road.
I bet there'll be a lot of people trying to cosplay as the Marvel Rivals characters.
That's it.
But it's kind of hard to compete with the character models.
Amber, if you get a blue shell, fire it. Because you're in last place, they'll probably give you a blue shell.
Okay.
You make one mistake in this, it's over.
I know. I was first and then I made this one mistake.
I think you've been an 8th the whole time.
Shut up! You're so mean. I'm not wearing anything now. I mean, costumes. Darn it!
Dang it, Amber!
I meant I'm not gonna wear a costume.
You're very distracting, you know that? Say the wrong thing at the wrong time.
I didn't mean that! I didn't mean to say that.
Great. Why?
Where did my friend go? Oh.
Doesn't matter. The race is over. We're gonna redo the whole thing. Yep, we have to start over.
Linko would be an adorable cosplay as Granddaddy Otaku. I can't even get Luke to get a Link costume. Although I did notice there was one for $20 on sale. But I have to scrimp and save for, I mean, if we are gonna do the Peach and, of course, costumes always go on sale when it's not Halloween. Luke has a Nightwing costume, actually, Raspberry. I don't know where the boots are.
Alright, here we go.
Wait, I didn't quite get that, but something about bribing someone with a meal from Wendy's.
Can we stop talking about Wendy's? I can't get fast food for a while. You guys are making me crave stuff that I... Right.
Healthy rice.
Right. Healthy rice.
I don't understand why you don't like your cooking.
I never said I didn't like your cooking. It's just I can't have the other stuff, so I would prefer people not talk about it because I crave it. And I can't have it. It's driving me crazy. We don't get paid until next week. Actually, no, we don't get paid for... Is it 2 weeks? 2 weeks, I think. I think it is. The 18th is 2 weeks.
I'm not thinking about it because I have lots of nice healthy food in the house.
Well, you're different than I am. When people... ADD people are very susceptible to things.
It's not good though.
Right, that's... Yeah, it creates impulsive buying and all kinds of stuff.
That's horrible.
Right! I'm agreeing with you.
Well, I should just keep you off the internet then. And this is why Luke's not allowed to go out of the house.
This is why I'm...
There's a different definition of catching.
Ah.
I'm literally have him chained. I have him chained to his workplace.
No.
I am the boss.
No, you don't really act like that.
Well, at least we got this out of the way before the Emma Frost showcase.
No, there's gonna be a lot of
Yeah, well, at least I got it up on my system, so I don't know. Well, the reality is, I think her costume from before is actually Spice Green.
No.
Really?
It was tastefully done. She was wearing like a bathing suit top and a bathing suit bottom, but like it was still done appropriately. Like it wasn't like skin tight or anything.
Oh. Well, I think those are showing that. I don't really know what I didn't know she was a psychic. Psychic?
Oh yeah, she's a psychic. She's a mental, whatever they call them. Oh, can't catch anybody. Oh. Yeah, she doesn't look anything like her comic outfit. That's true, Miss Deanna. I thought that they were gonna go with a white bathing suit, a cape, and like or not a bodysuit. They called it a one piece. So I thought they were gonna go with a one piece, like thigh-high white boots, white cape, and white gloves. But they went in a different direction. They showed more leg. They showed, because she has like knee-high boots or something like that. They were really showing off her legs.
They do call that a bodysuit sometimes.
They do call it a bodysuit.
Like, it looks like a swimsuit. Like, they do call that, like, if you, like, when they sell that online on, like, Amazon or on women's clothing sites, they call it a bodysuit. Like, a literal, and then they expect you to wear pants with it, though. It's like a shirt that goes, like, it's like a swimsuit shirt. It's like a shirt, but it has a swimsuit bottom attached to it. And then you're supposed to wear pants with it. I don't know. I think it's basically so ladies can have like a shirt that they don't have to worry about their shirt becoming untucked. I think. I don't really know. Or maybe they sell bodysuits online for women because they can think like, I am wearing this, with pants or a skirt, and I look appropriate for the office. But underneath, I'm a superhero. Why am I wearing a bodysuit under this?
I'm not doing well at all. I really thought you could hold the thing underneath you, but you can't. I thought you could hold a banana weapon, but... Or not banana weapon, anything.
Someone was just a jerk.
I mean, this whole game is going to be a jerk too. 100 cc's is pretty ruthless. 150 cc's is worse though. With 100 cc's, you're allowed to make like one or two mistakes. You're not allowed to make any mistakes on 150 cc's. But the reason why I'm not doing very well in this game today is I do have a headache.
I'm not feeling the best either. That's what I was hoping this would be over soon, because I'm like kind of... I need a nap.
Well, if you fail again, you can excuse yourself to not do one player. Because I wanna finish this. The whole point of doing 100 cc's is to do all 100 cc's.
What does that mean?
To get first place on all 100 cc's.
Yeah, maybe you can see the screen better if I'm not.
It has nothing to do with the screen. It has to do with a lot of factors. Remember, the dinosaur can knock you off. It can pause you in your tracks.
I thought you would have been... I would eat all that fried rice in one day. I'm trying to brace myself to not eat it. I'm trying to save it for you. Here you are craving cheap food.
Can we stop talking? I'm trying to put away my cravings, honey, so I can concentrate on the race. I haven't eaten yet, so it's part of the reason I'm so hungry. I can't eat until the break.
Well, you had all night to eat.
No, I didn't. I was sleeping. You wake up hungry.
Okay, I don't understand. There's food in the house.
I never said there wasn't. It's not a slight on you that there's no food in the house. You're misunderstanding something.
Okay.
It's a three-way tie that's terrible. Three-way tie is terrible. That's really bad. That's really, really, really bad. Three-way tie is horrible.
Okay, I guess you did win, so I'm staying.
I have to get first. If I don't get first, I lose. and I'm playing one thing.
Well, there's an ice dragon in Monster, and I can't figure out how to.
You need a flame weapon, probably.
It's probably
Of course. If it's a ice dragon, it has an elemental weakness. If it's a fire dragon, then it's weak to water or ice.
I just don't have a lot of time off camera to go get the other weapons.
Oh, of course not. Yeah.
There's hardly any time, so it's hard for me.
Well, I mean, it's really hard to farm those weapons, and also, like, most people in Monster Hunter, you choose one type of weapon style. Like, I have a weapon that puts everybody to sleep. That's the weapon I've been upgrading.
Well, that's why I used to do, like, I played as your character for a while and did, like, Skeletor Sundays and was grinding.
But even those grinding streams you were doing was averaging over 1,000 views. That was several years ago. Yep. Yep. Most evening streams we did got 5,000 views. Your morning streams got over 1,000. Every single morning stream you did. No, it just shows you how much YouTube has changed. If they were still counting views the right way, we wouldn't be in this predicament. But as long as we have our audience, like, you know, being members and super chatting and all this other stuff, we can weather the storm. That's why we're still around and other YouTubers have already quit, is because they were solely ad revenue. I did ask our new partner manager, I was like, how in the world do we use this new click revenue? And he still hasn't told me, because I have no idea how to use this stuff that YouTube keeps reminding us, oh, you need to do this now. It's like, well, how do I do it? Keep reminding us that we're not using this revenue. Well, how do we use it?
Yeah, the fact that he hasn't told us how to do it, it's cool.
They invited us to VidCon. They said they had a pass for us, and I was like, that's great, but we can't get a plane ticket or a hotel to go to California.
Right.
Thank you for the offer. And people don't understand. We get offers all the time to do stuff.
Wow, so they invited us there. Oh, wow.
But we can't, you know, we can't afford the hotel.
Too bad I should make you work for public fees and then I'll send it. Too bad that one publication doesn't exist anymore.
No, I retired. I wanted to retire.
I know, but I also said I didn't want to go. I wanted to always be my way, and I didn't.
You never told him that.
I didn't tell him.
Yeah, you told me. I know, but I wanted to retire. He even said it's like, it was basically like the equivalent. He would give us like $150 to go to a convention. That's what he would pay us for like 6 videos. And it's like we were making more money than that.
Yeah, but if we had stayed with him, we could have.
He never did. He never paid for it. We paid. Nope, we always paid.
Oh, that's right. He paid the fee. He paid the fee to get in.
He paid the press fee for us to get into the convention, which back then was only like a few $100.
Well, still, those.
Yeah, of course.
And also.
And he had the reputation that we needed.
Yeah, and also like when he was gone, we had to work a lot harder, and we had to go in as 2 different. I had to go in representing feeling reviews, but that'd be one person on every channel.
Yep. It was based on channel,
so that was frustrating because we had to have so many videos for each channel.
Yep.
That was hard.
That was hard. You're correct.
Well, I have some ideas for Switch 2 videos. If you just gave me 2 ideas for Switch 2 videos, you could do number 1, you know, like most anticipated games on the Switch 2, and number 2, like what had a better what would you call introduction to the system? Wii Sports or whatever it is that Switch 2 is using. Like, which was a better introduction to the system? Make a video about that and explaining how the, you know, Wii Sports was what you just said. Wii Sports was a better introduction to the Wii than the thing to the Switch 2. And that's like a video that can write itself.
Mm-hmm.
I'll write you a script for that.
So I have to
I'll start writing down all these ideas you have on the streams because I think these would all make great videos.
I have to kill Wario and Waluigi. I have to. The problem is I'm terrible at Rainbow Road. I can't do Rainbow Road. I've never been good at Rainbow Road, ever. It doesn't matter the game. Rainbow Road is like my... Oh. Like, everybody's going full speed on Rainbow Road. I can't. I'll fall off. And as soon as I fall off, that's it. As long as I can keep, like, Waluigi and what's-his-name from scoring, then I can win overall, because Donkey Kong doesn't have that many points. The problem is, even trying to attack your rivals when you're on this thing is incredibly dangerous.
I feel like these little thingies are a trap. Like the speed boost, because they always speed boost off the
Well, of course.
Oh.
100%, yeah, yeah.
I'm not going on the speed boost again, because that threw me off.
Also, if you bump into people, you fall off the edge as well. Like,
Yeah.
it's incredibly dangerous.
When I first had, I mean, I wasn't really used to a lot of video games, so when I first saw this, I kind of imagined myself really on this road. It was kind of scary.
My hands...
Thinking about falling off for eternity and
My hands sweat all the time. Like, on Rainbow Road.
it's so happy and colorful, yet it's so dangerous.
It's dangerous, yeah.
Evil road. Can you imagine it? Like a trucker going on this road trying
No.
to deliver something.
It reminds me of that one road in Peekskill. That's that massively long, like, thing around that, I think the Smoky Mountain or whatever.
Oh my god!
And
That is like Rainbow Road.
Yeah, the guardrail is so thin.
Yeah. Yeah, we're lucky to be alive after going on that.
I hated that road. I learned to drive on that road,
That's why
though.
that's why you shouldn't leave 3 hours early when it's 3 hours and 47 minutes away, Luke. Next time we have to leave earlier.
What are you talking about, honey?
That's why we were so fast.
We have no reason to go back there.
But next time, there will be plenty of reason to go back there. What are you talking about? You're gonna be visiting your uncle all the time. What are you talking about?
Alright, honey, I gotta concentrate.
I'm talking about in general. for
No,
any
not,
trip.
sweetie. Now's not the time to talk about this. I'm really trying to concentrate. If I fall off, my race is over, and then I have to do this all over again.
Okay, so I can't say one thing, but you can say a million things in this one.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying I need to concentrate. We're almost done. I could literally choke.
I'm not talking.
No. Can't see. No! Just like that. Just like that. The blue shell ruined everything. So now I'm in a tough fight with Wario and Waluigi. I have to beat them. Long turn right before the end. Alright, it's gonna be close. I think I won overall, but I don't know. Sorry, honey, it gets very tense at the end. Any misconcentration and it's all over. Like, that's how this stuff works. So, what you were saying is very important, but I just couldn't hear it right now, because I would fall. Amber got me with the blue shell. Well, then she got me back, didn't she?
I didn't remember hitting you with a blue shell.
She was just firing the blue shell to fire the blue shell. She probably had, like, so many items in her, like, inventory.
I didn't even realize you were in first.
Yeah, see?
Luke would have been concentrating. He would have told me he was in first.
It didn't matter because, I mean, I think you stopped Waluigi from winning first. So if Donkey Kong won overall, then I think I won overall because I got second place. Unless Donkey Kong also was leading. I won't know until you cross the finish line. And find out if I have to go first player all over again or if, like, it was enough to qualify. Stop crying, baby. Oh, thank God. It's over. Ha! Oh, yes. No more 100cc's. Woo! Oh my gosh! Now we get to enjoy the ending credits, people. You can't escape Amber's blue shell? No, there's no escape. And the blue shell's nasty in this one. I thought her blue shell was gonna knock me off the road, though. Because that's the danger of Rainbow Road.
I have to take a nap.
Of course. Of course, honey. Whoa. So I guess, just so you know, people, we will try 150cc's tomorrow, but we are probably not going to win. But I will show you 150cc's tomorrow. But it's gonna, like, 100cc's is the best I can do. Like, I'm not that good. I don't claim to be that good either, so I do the best I can, but I'm not a very good Mario Kart player. I never have been. I'm not good at snaking. I can't do the drift very well. I always mess up the drift and either crash into the wall or fall right off the cliff. But that 100cc's from 20 years ago, I feel like that's 150cc's today. Maybe. But, you know, game difficulty was way different 20 years ago. But I still think I did okay overall. It was enough to get the ending credits music, so that means we did pretty good. When are we doing Mario Kart DS? Probably Sunday. And tomorrow's the last day of coverage for Mario Kart Double Dash. So tomorrow would be the Double Dash finale, which would be 150cc's in Versus mode. Like, Amber and I will show you the Versus mode. Like, I mean, we showed Versus mode today, but that was Versus Grand Prix. We'll show you, like, the battle mode. And 150cc's. Huh? Yeah, just so, I mean, everybody here usually knows this, but this channel is a husband and wife channel. I put a ring on my wife's finger. Like, she was my girlfriend, like, 20 years ago. She got upgraded to wife status. She leveled up a long time ago. We weren't even boyfriend and girlfriend very long. We dated in 2003. We got engaged in 2004 and we got married in 2006. So we had a 2-year engagement where she would have been my fiance. So that's a level up from girlfriend too. We've never been boyfriend and girlfriend online. Ever. Always been my entire our entire YouTube career, we've always been husband and wife. Always, always, always. We'll be celebrating our 20th anniversary next year. Oh my gosh, there it is, the original Mario Kart. Wait, we unlocked Toad and Toadette? Cool. Amber, we unlocked something. Toad and Toadette with the classic Mario Kart. The Toad Kart. Alright, people, so 150cc's will be tomorrow. It will be bad. Next up is going to be Marvel Rivals. We're going to get that set up for you guys. The music's going to run. I'm going to get a massive bowl of cereal. I'm craving Cocoa Pebbles. So I'm going to have Cocoa Pebbles. This is Toadette's debut, probably. I would say that, yeah. Yep. But we hope you guys had fun. That concludes Mario Kart Double Dash today. And this is, of course, our Road to Mario Kart World Series. This is our Road to Mario Kart World. What it means is we're going to be playing every single Mario Kart game that we own. And we do own all the main series games. So that means there will be coverage of Mario Kart 8 on Wii U, followed by the whole Mario Kart 8 Deluxe thing in May, which will take a while because there was a ton of content with Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Because there was all the Season Pass stuff. We're going to go through everything. 50 cc's, 100 cc's, everything. So we are going to milk this until June when we will be covering the brand new Mario Kart World. So even though Amber and I have differences of opinion about Switch 2, we're very excited. We were very excited with everybody else. The only thing that's given us pause about how we do content is we're going to be getting Breath of the Wild. We're going to do Breath of the Wild again in 4K. Because we love Breath of the Wild. It's probably our favorite. Next, Tears of the Kingdom was okay, but Breath of the Wild is our favorite Switch Zelda game. Next to, you know, Skyward Sword, because Amber liked that Zelda because she's mischievous and fun. At least I think Skyward Sword was on Switch. I can't remember. I think it was. We never got Wind Waker and Twilight Princess on Switch. But anyway, see you guys on Marvel Rivals. We got to set up the other system. Because Amber and I play together. We're going to be doing Emma Frost. We're going to show you the Battle Pass. I'm going to show you everything. All the good stuff. Okay? Alright guys. God bless Happy Gaming. Thanks so much for the Super Chats and the membership. Thank you to Carlos for upgrading. See you guys on Marvel Rivals. Coming up next.